lights, feel the beat. Twists and tails can't be beat. Join the crew, take your seat. Welcome to the wrestle heat. Malapert Smark, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The Smark's always high.
Smark's always high. Well, that's our new theme song, guys. I paid $40,000 in royalties for this. I paid a band to do it. But, no, I'm kidding. It's some fucking AI bullshit. I said write a theme song for the Malapert Smark Wrestling Podcast. And they came up with some... We're the Wrestle Talk Kings, it says. Or, I don't know, the lyrics kind of suck, but whatever. But it's funny that if we really wanted a song like this before AI, we would have had to actually pay up the ass for this fucking shit song.
That's true.
Wow.
Well, whatever.
From some band no one's ever heard of.
Yeah, well, I don't even hear what the lyrics were. Did you guys? Let me start it over. Let's play it one more time.
Not really.
Turn on the lights, feel the beat.
Turn on the lights, feel the beat. That's so generic. Yeah. These AI lyrics really suck.
Twists and tails can't be beat. Join the crew, take your seat.
Join the crew, take your seat.
Welcome to the wrestle heat.
Welcome to the wrestle heat.
Okay. Heat.
Malapert Smark, time to fly.
Stories don't catch your eye.
Stories told that catch your eye. Man, what awful lyrics.
Wow.
Talking champs till we die. We're the talking champs. All the way till we die.
All right. I'll take that, I guess.
The Smark's always high. Well, that one makes sense a little bit. That's me.
That one is definitely for you, bro.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Malapert Smark Podcast. Usually I like to start the show and start talking wrestling right off the bat, because I hear all these other podcasts, and when they start, I start the show, and then I have to listen to them talk about their lives for like 10, 15 minutes. Whoever it is, it doesn't matter. Cornette or some other just random podcast. But hey, at least the one benefit for us, I'm not going to rush till let's get to the wrestling talk. If you want to get straight to the wrestling talk, I have bookmarks. You guys could see it, at the bottom of, the YouTube thing right here. It'll tell you exactly where we start talking wrestling. So skip over there if you want. So for right now, I just want to say hello to my friends who are here with me today. Vlad, the wrestling expert, and Robert, the frozen Asian. Happy to see you guys. Let me say hello to you guys. We'll start with Vlad. Vlad, hello. Say hello to the audience.
Hello, everyone. It is good to be here, as always. It is a treat.
Yes. And I usually don't like to ask us about our personal lives because I assume most people are doing poorly because the world is very difficult and, this really sucks. But hey, I guess some people out there are doing well. Robert, you're doing well, right? Like your life is okay, would you say?
I'm doing okay, yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't say poorly, so I'll just say okay.
Well, look, for me, wrestling is an escape, okay? I guess I'll admit life is difficult. And to anyone out there struggling with the mental health, I got no advice for you, man. All I can say is I'm sorry. I am. Yeah, I'm sorry that the world and life is fucking difficult. But hey, here we are. We're going to talk about wrestling because that's our home away from home, right? Our segment here is this week in AEW and WWE. So basically we've been covering those two companies and doing the best we can of doing a review or a summary of a 1 week of wrestling, which is kind of hard actually to squeeze 1 week of all these shows into like an hour or so, because I don't think people really want to listen to us for more than an hour, or maybe they do. I don't really know. But anyways, I try to keep it to an hour. But okay, so we got another week in the books. What was your outlook on this week, guys? Was it a good week? Was it a bad week? Was it an okay week? You got a general summary review?
From what I recall, it was just an okay week. I don't think anything major happened. I think with Grand Slam coming up, maybe that will pick things up for next week. But this past week was, I would just say okay.
Yeah, it was just okay.
All right, well, let's go through some topics and some angles, and let's see what we got. Okay, so we'll start with Monday Night Raw from the 16th, which is the furthest away. We are at Sunday right now as we speak, so we record our shows on Sundays, but I'm going back to Monday. I know it's almost the next Raw, but it's okay. We haven't had time to discuss this. Although we did review it, I got some reviews. So I'm starting with the Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman angle. Okay, so that's what I'm starting the show with today. I usually start the show with what I thought was the best thing in the week. All right, and our reviews for this, well, I'll just give our reviews before we even go through the topic, go through the angle, but I'll bring back up our rating system here for those who are unfamiliar with it. But Vlad gave this 2 thumbs up. So Vlad was the first one who called me and told me about it, so he was all excited about this scene. Robert gave it a thumbs up, so we'll ask for some clarification. And then I had to adjust my rating on this, because initially I gave it a thumbs up because all I did was read about it, because I was somewhere where I couldn't really watch the show.
Oh, yeah.
And I literally,
this has to be seen.
I read the notes, and I'm like, okay, so, the ring rope broke, and then, he slammed him through the guardrail. I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. Gave it a thumbs up. But then I saw it, and I'm like, whoa, like the tempo and everything was something I haven't seen in wrestling for a long time. So let's go through some of it. So here's where the angle started. For the day, Bronson Reed was talking to The Miz, and The Miz was telling him, oh, you don't think that I could beat Bronson Reed? And Braun Strowman said, no, it's not that. It's just that you're not a monster. You have to be a monster to be even in this game. So they cut later on to a Bronson Reed promo where they reviewed how he had COVID, and that's why he hadn't been there for a week, and then Braun Strowman took his spot in that Intercontinental title tournament, and then he came back and he laid him out, right, the week before. So now they're back, and they're going to do another match on Raw. It's Bronson Reed against Braun Strowman. After the big segment, the scene where we reviewed a couple weeks ago where he did a tsunami splash, Bronson Reed did onto Braun Strowman, off the parking lot ledge onto a car, I guess is the best way I could describe it. But, all right. How about this? How about a little watch along today? Because I think it was worth watching. So I'll put this here for you guys, and I got to switch to watch along mode. So on YouTube here, if you guys are watching along, the way we do this to sneak by the copyright is we have to put it kind of smaller here in the corner, and if you want to expand on that, you could switch to 1080p in the settings and then zoom out with your fingers. Here's the scene where it started. Braun Strowman is here at the ring, and the match is going to start. So here's how it happened.
Saying, hey, how about you give me a heads up when a 330-pounder's flying through the air at me? Well, he can see what's coming now.
So here's the problem with Bronson Reed, first of all. He's 330 pounds.
All right, so Strowman enters the ring, and immediately Bronson Reed rammed into him, and he missed him, and he hit the top rope, and he snapped the top rope off, which was really cool looking. And the way Tessatori sold it was really cool. Did a good job selling it. So here's a choke slam. Braun Strowman is choke slam Bronson Reed. Already off to a hot start. It didn't even start yet. All right. Let's see how this progresses. Reed goes over the top rope, which is the middle rope at this point, because there is no top rope.
Yeah. For our viewing pleasure.
All right, so Braun Strowman's gonna do the freight train thing and ram into Bronson Reed, and here he is running at him, and that's where Bronson Reed threw a fan, which we didn't see on camera. The fan just flew out of the corner of the camera view. And Bronson Reed's laughing like it was a hilarious thing he did. So he's celebrating. He walks over the guardrail, and here comes Braun Strowman, fucking slams him through the cart. This is like an insane scene. This is like the most things I've seen in a row in a wrestling match. Anyways, I'm going to skip a little bit, not too much, but they're going to get up off of this.
From Portland, the body days of the
and this is where they get up, maybe like a minute later, and Bronson Reed's gonna leave.
And medical personnel.
Did this match start, Vlad? It didn't start.
It did not start.
I don't think I wrote that in my summary, like who won the match actually.
Or did they ring the bell maybe when he lunged at it? Originally, maybe. I can't remember now.
All right, so Bronson Reed's out of here.
Either way, it doesn't really matter. It's a no contest.
Now he's pointing back.
He's already by the entrance ramp, heading towards the back, and he points at Braun Strowman. I gotta describe this, by the way. I'm sorry to people who think I'm being annoying. There's some people just listening. All right, so Braun Strowman runs to the back.
Oh, he just sent him through. Right into the encasement.
What was that? A pounce? Would you call that a pounce? Pounce Bronson Reed into some equipment, just shoved him at full speed.
10 years, he's said, oh,
Yeah.
And here comes Bronson Reed coming back out, so they're fighting to the back.
there's a new kid on the block in this feud.
Wade Barrett did mention, he said this was the best minute of wrestling in professional history. All right, so
I didn't hear him say that, but that's fantastic.
Strowman threw Bronson Reed into a wall, and Bronson Reed just like screamed like a little girl. Strowman is beating up security, flipped over the golf cart, and he's yelling at everyone, "Stay out of my way!" And here,
Oh, that's fucking phenomenal, dude. Jesus Christ.
there's Bronson Reed off the fucking equipment onto a table. They just had everything ready perfectly. And this part, okay, maybe Braun Strowman got up too quickly here, but let's just say he was fueled by hatred and gets up and rams Bronson Reed through the wall. And everything falls down, all the equipment. They had all this set up perfect. If that happened by accident, that was great, but and then that's it.
700 combined
Man.
is wrecking bowling the Moda Center here in Portland.
We need 10 ambulances immediately.
We need 10 ambulances. All right. So staff is, going crazy, and let's just cut it off there. Let's go to Vlad. So Vlad, you initially gave this 2 thumbs up. You thought it was the best thing on the show, I think, at the time. You were gushing about it. So let me put a minute and a half on the clock for you. Whatever you want to use from this minute and a half. Let's hear some thoughts from the wrestling expert.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. It was just wildly entertaining. I think when we first thought that these two guys would have some sort of feud, we all thought it would suck because, these guys really, it's hard to have a feud with 2 big guys like this, right, and have a good match. But this has been so good because they're not really having matches, right? They're not really having, technical masterpieces that won't work in something like this. They're just beating the crap out of each other in a very creative and very entertaining way. Whoever is booking this and writing out this stuff that they have to do, the segments and all this other stuff, is really doing a great job. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I've enjoyed this whole thing from top to bottom. It's been tremendous. And I'm a big Bronson Reed fan, especially since the whole thing with Seth Rollins, since they've been kind of pushing him, and I hope that they continue to push him. And this whole thing has been really, really entertaining to me. So I don't really know what else to say. I just found it fascinating. I don't know if it was the best minute in wrestling history, like Wade Barrett said, but it was wildly entertaining. They were doing some wild stuff. I liked when Strowman actually flipped the cart and the cameras went out. I thought that was I don't know if that was intentional or by accident, but that was a great touch, man. Just showing the chaos in the situation, man. So I don't know what else to say, like I said, but that was really good stuff.
All right. Let's move over to Robert. So, Robert, you gave it a thumbs up. You can change your rating if you want, but if you have a reason why you don't want to give it 2 thumbs up, I guess we're interested.
I mean, well, every time I try to defend a 1 thumb up rating, you always respond, but that's a good rating. Like, okay.
Yeah,
it's still a good rating.
Okay, all right.
So, I mean, I still liked it. I liked it a lot. So, kind of like what Vlad mentioned earlier, that when it was announced that these 2 would have a feud, I think we all assumed that it would suck. I agree. I did assume it would suck. And in general, I don't really enjoy segments or matches that include Braun Strowman for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Maybe that plays a part into it. I'm not sure. Maybe it's really Bronson Reed that's like making this work really well. I don't know, but I am enjoying it a lot more than I expected to. It didn't blow my mind or anything, but I still thought it was really good enough to get a thumbs up. So yeah, we'll see what happens from here. I mean, at some point they're gonna have, an actual match, right?
Well, that's a good question. What is going to be the blow off of this feud, Vlad? You got an ambulance match maybe or something?
I think something where they just beat the shit out of each other, like some sort of match like that. Like maybe they'll do something at Bad Blood? Maybe they'll have some sort of weird gimmicks match where they don't have to. Obviously, again, they shouldn't just have a regular match at this point. That would be stupid. At this point, they should just like go something crazy. I don't know, ambulance match or like you said, or something where last man standing or some sort of no DQ type of thing where all hell breaks loose.
Well, yeah. I mean, it'll be hard to top it, but hey, I think they've already done their work. At this point, this feud has already been a success, even if the match isn't that great. So, 2 thumbs up for me. I thought that was fantastic. I loved it. I was very entertained, as Vlad was. But I'm going to move on to the next angle. I'm going to jump around today. We're going to go to AEW. We'll come back to WWE. But moving on to an angle that I kind of liked. I liked this angle with the Moxley's group. Well, there was kind of 2 separate stories that they had on this day. So as we all know, Moxley turned heel, turned on Bryan Danielson. It's not really the Blackpool Combat Club anymore, but Claudio's still in it. And they've got Marina Shafir now, and they've got Pac. And the first story that I'm going to cover is the one with Wheeler Yuta. Well, so I know, Vlad, you don't really care much for the Wheeler Yuta, but I think for once he's involved in something that's kind of a good story here because he is part of the Trios Championship with Claudio and Pac. And a few weeks ago, it didn't make sense that Pac was in there because he was the heel. And Claudio and Wheeler were the baby faces. And I was like, well, what is Pac doing with this guy? And now they did the whole heel turn, and Moxley has a stable, and now it's kind of flipped around. It's like, well, what's up with Wheeler now? They did cover him on Saturday. He's conflicted, right? He had a match with somebody, some jobber, and he won. And he almost choked the referee, but he's like, he doesn't know what to do with himself. He's mentally struggling. So Alex Marvez, the sleuth detective, Vlad, actually got a hold of Wheeler Yuta in the stairwell. He found him in the stairwell. So, and basically Wheeler just said, look, he's proud to be the Trios champion, so he's going to show up for that match. And he had forgot his Trios title, but also he was like, well,
it's easy to forget that.
Yeah, but the interesting part was how Moxley put it when I'm gonna go to watch along mode so I could just listen to what he's saying. But zoom in over there if you guys want to listen. But here's what Moxley said.
You can do whatever you want. It's your choice. But you have a personal responsibility to the greater good. You have to look yourself in the mirror every morning. Wheeler. What kind of man did we teach you to be?
What kind of man did the Blackpool Combat Club teach Wheeler Yuta to be? All right, so some ratings for this angle specifically for Robert and Vlad for this Wheeler Yuta angle part of this Moxley stuff, because the Moxley stable does come back later in the show with something else. But let's bring up our rating system. I gave it a thumbs up. I really like this. I like that, they have something for Wheeler here, and Robert was with me. He gave it a thumbs up. So Vlad was the only one he gave it an indifferent. So you didn't hate this, but you also didn't want to give it any type of thumbs up. So, Robert, you want to talk about Wheeler Yuta for a minute? You don't have to use the whole minute and 30 seconds. But before we move on to the whole private party stuff, anything you have to say about this right now?
Yeah, I mean, this is the best angle that I've seen Wheeler Yuta be a part in so far in AEW. That's for sure. I mean,
there you go.
He needed something. Like they have not made him look good at all. Let's say when every time Blackpool Combat Club had some like a group match against another group, whether I don't know if it was the Elite or whoever. If the Blackpool Combat Club loses, it's always him that takes the pin. Like they always make him look like the weak link of the group. And then,
course.
I don't remember really any promos from him except for that one time when he had a 1 week feud with MJF, I think. And that's about it. Like, as far as his run in AEW, it's been very not memorable.
Well, are you like a bit interested to see what happens with him here?
I'm just saying that for once he's in an angle that's actually intriguing.
Yeah, it is intriguing to me too. I gotta admit.
Yeah, it's about time, right? We'll
what's gonna happen
from here? I don't know.
What's your guess? Is he gonna go with this new team, or is he gonna be like, no, what you did to Danielson was too much?
Well, they have a match for Grand Slam, right? I mean,
yeah, they have a trios. I think they have a trios title open challenge match. I don't know who they're facing yet.
I think he might go along with them for maybe that match, but at some point in the future, I don't know. I guess he's not going to want to do it anymore. I don't know. We'll see. I
guess he could just be like a reluctant partner and just keep going because they're champion. But all right, Vlad, any thoughts you have on this? I know you gave it an indifferent, but you have any thoughts you could share with us? If not, you could just pass.
No. I'll just say, I probably don't need the whole 90 seconds, but I'll just say, you guys keep saying, Wheeler Yuta needs this, he needs these strong angles. I'm like, why? Why does Wheeler Yuta need this? This is, again, a Daniel Garcia situation, but even worse to me. This is even worse because Wheeler Yuta is even worse than Daniel Garcia. He's a worse jabron than Daniel Garcia.
What?
Okay?
Oh, come on, man.
Wheeler Yuta is a nothing. He's absolutely wouldn't be able to draw you any type of money. Who cares what they give him? He's lucky that he's on TV. He's lucky that he has whatever he has, man.
Well, just because someone doesn't draw money doesn't mean they're not a useful part of the roster. Like, come on, Disco Inferno wasn't drawing money, but he was a useful part of the roster. He was a good worker.
Exactly. You just compared him to who I think he he should be. Disco Inferno.
That doesn't mean Disco Inferno can't be involved in a good angle. Like, even in WWE, they're using lower card guys and making them some type of intriguing.
Yes, he could be but not with your top guys. No, that's the difference. If Moxley's a top guy, which I guess he is, and
he's part of the
Daniel
stable
Bryan,
with them. He's not like
a stable. Come on, give a shit. Are you kidding me? The Blackpool Combat Club.
They're not the Blackpool Combat Club. They're Moxley's stable, quote unquote. We don't know what they are yet. I don't think we have a name.
The Dungeon of Doom was a stable. I mean, okay, I don't have anything more to add. I mean, it's Wheeler Yuta. Okay, he's a guy that you can put on the undercard or mid card. I don't care what they give him. I don't see anything in this guy that's special at all. He could be a good worker, and fine. He could have a good match. Fine. There's plenty of guys like that. You could go around the indies and find maybe 20,000 Wheeler Yutas if you looked hard enough, in my opinion. But that's
I think he's a step above indie wrestlers, man. At this point,
he is our indie wrestler. He's a complete indie wrestler.
No, man, I've seen him have very good Ring of Honor pure championship matches.
Ring of Honor doesn't even exist. First of all, Ring of Honor is an indie company. If it did, okay, so that's indie wrestling. Ring of Honor is indie wrestling.
In that case, AEW is indie wrestling, but a lot of people leave AEW and become successes somewhere else. I think Wheeler Yuta can be a success somewhere else in WWE.
Who's left AEW and become successes somewhere else?
Ethan Page
Cody
right now
Rhodes, Ethan Page.
Okay. Oh, you mean guys that were just obviously misused in this company? Sure, of course, yeah. But I don't think Wheeler Yuta is one of those guys. But nonetheless, he's been properly used up to this point.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stick with Moxley's group. Okay, let's jump to the other things that happened to them on this episode because this has been an intriguing angle to me. He's turned heel. They're trying to do this NWO style takeover sort of thing. So last week they did an NWO type thing where they beat up Private Party, who were going to have a 6-man tag team match with Commander, and they took him out. So here's Private Party responding to that whole thing. I got to move this into watch-along mode because I'm pressing play for a second to listen to Isaiah Cassidy's promo.
Yuta has issued an open challenge for next.
Wheeler Yuta and the Trios champions, I guess, they issue an open challenge, and it looks like Private Party accept here.
Grand Slam for their AEW World Trios Championship. Quinn, Zay, Private Party, sounds like something right up your alley.
Marvin, you know it's right up our alley. Claudio, Mox, pop! I said this last week, and I'm gonna say it again till y'all boys finally understand.
You're not gonna get it.
You boys want to fight? All you have to do is ask. That's all you have to do. Just ask.
Yeah, take away the shots. Take away the verbal. And what you got? 2 guys from New York that's ready to fight.
And you know what? Speaking of New York City, how about we do it next week? Grand Slam, right? Yeah, y'all boys feeling froggy? Take a leap. Take a jump. I dare you. And while you at it, put those Trios championships on the line. We find somebody. And you know what? I was gonna leave, but let me get this off my chest. Mox,
Let him cook.
I'm talking to you, and I hope you listen because I'm being so freaking dead ass right now. You in a war?
We gonna find out, bro.
Let us be your first battle. Expect the unexpected. We on all y'all asses, boy. I swear to God.
All right. What do you guys think of that? Any thoughts on Isaiah Cassidy's promo? Not terrible.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, do I have to say it? Okay, I don't want to say it. It's being a different. Not okay. It's not that these guys are really, really bad, but okay, the fact that they've been so absolutely misused for like the last 3-4 years. Wasn't this guy the guy that was just like making sex noises? Like that's all his gimmick was for the past 3 years, and now he's hard.
Yes.
Now he's moved after Moxley.
His gimmick was that he would moan in your ear.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. You know, just get the fuck out of my sight. You know, this is This is disgusting. You know what? This whole thing, I didn't know it was part of something that I reviewed because this makes me sick. This actually makes me sick. Can I change my ranking to this thing? I'm physically going to throw up right now just watching.
Well, you gave this whole angle with Private Party and Moxley's group half a thumbs up. So
I didn't see this interview. I must have skipped it because if I did, I would have not given it.
Well, it's not. The angle's not over yet. Let me finish the angle for this episode, and then I'll get some thoughts from you. But okay. So, but look, logically, I will say that I like this promo happened because they got their asses kicked last week by Moxley and Marina Shafir and Claudio and Pat.
Yeah,
so obviously they should be pissed off and be like, all right, I'm going to fuck you up. Even if they're like not strong characters, they should be mad and be like, I'm going to come for you. Right? Like if NWO whooped your ass gang style, you'd be like, man, I'm going to come get revenge for you.
Yeah,
whether it's the last thing I do. So whether he can do it or he can't do it is another story. But let's move along. So Moxley comes out. All right. And this was supposed to be a scene where Moxley's going to talk because there's this big mystery about what's going on with him. But he ends up getting blindsided by Private Party. So Private Party, as soon as they come out, that's where Isaiah Cassidy attacks Moxley, and then Marina Shafir.
Like he's not even selling the punches, bro. Oh my God, Moxley, another piece of shit. There's never been a bigger piece of shit in this company in wrestling. It's
he sold that one. He sold
nothing. He sold literally nothing.
Well, anyway, so Marina Shafir jumps in there to help Moxley, and she chokes out Isaiah Cassidy.
Oh my God, I'm embarrassed for these guys. These guys should not have agreed to. Actually, they should have agreed to.
Hey, Marina Shafir is a badass. But anyway, so Marina Shafir basically turns the tide, and here she is holding down Isaiah Cassidy so Moxley can slap him around. This was a mean backbreaker, by the way, from Claudio onto Mark Quinn, which looked freaking fantastic. It looked like it broke his freaking back. I don't know how they worked that one, but okay. All right, so. Oh, I forgot to mention Commander comes in, but he ends up taking an uppercut off of Claudio. So this is going to be another beatdown. I got to switch to watch along mode because I want to put what Moxley says here. So Marina Shafir and Claudio are holding down Isaiah Cassidy after Isaiah Cassidy sneak attacked their ass, and now they got him at their whims. And here's what John Moxley said.
5 years, and you guys are in the exact same spot you were 5 years ago. Why?
No, they're in the worst spot. That's the sad thing. They're worse. They're worse than where they were 5 years ago.
That's true.
Anyways, let's continue.
I'm going to give you a little bit of what you've been missing. I'm going to give you some friction. I'm going to give you a little bit of resistance. I'm going to give you an obstacle to overcome. Consider this a gift.
No. Oh, my God.
You know, guys, it took a lot of guts to do what Private Party
I don't know. I like how Isaiah Cassidy sold that hammer shot. Okay, for anybody who's just listening, possibly on our podcast platform, basically what happened was John Moxley smashed Isaiah Cassidy's hand with a hammer. And he was screaming like a little girl. So after he gave that hard ass promo,
anybody would.
Well, that's true. I'm gonna go back to pressing play on this.
John Moxley.
You sick fuck, John Moxley.
Oh my God. Wrist, the hand of Isaiah has to be shattered. This thing's...
All right, so there goes Darby Allin. After watching poor Isaiah Cassidy get his hand smashed, now Darby Allin comes out. And then this is the big showdown that we've been waiting for, Darby and Mox. And they don't really fight, they just push each other and kind of talk shit. And there's a nice image here of Marina Shafir, who is holding back Claudio. Because Claudio is like looking like, should I get in there? Should I do something? And Marina's like the one wearing the pants in this group for some reason. But Moxley backs out of the ring, and I'm going to play what Darby Allin had to say to end the segment.
When are you going to realize I am not the same guy you knew 5 years ago? I am going to run through you. I am going to run through you at Grand Slam. And then I'm walking in a Wrestle Dream in my home state. And I am becoming the next AEW World Champion!
All right, so that's the big match we got for Grand Slam next week. It's Darby and Mox. And the winner gets Darby's title shot that he has already earned, but he had put it up for some reason. All right, so Vlad, you're the biggest critic of this scene. I gave this 2 thumbs up, by the way. I'm going to pull up our rating system. I love this shit. I fucking loved it. Everything from Isaiah Cassidy's promo to him getting his hand smashed to Darby Allin coming out and them facing off and Darby Allin's promo at the end. 2 thumbs up for me. I loved it. Robert, thumbs up. He liked it. I don't know if he really liked it, but we'll get some clarification in a minute. And Vlad, half a thumbs up. So, Vlad, you start on this one.
Well, okay.
I guess you could change your rating if you want. I could always go back and edit our post. So there's something about it that you liked originally. So you gave it a half a thumbs up. And Orange Cassidy, so, half a thumbs up.
Right. So the original, I didn't see the interview with Isaiah Cassidy.
It was a bad promo, man. Come on, that was a good promo.
Well, it was coming from who it was coming from. It was pretty bad. But I think this overall, this wasn't awful. Like, this was a decent segment, like trying to still get this group as a menacing group that's just trying to create chaos. I mean, I'm not sure about the people involved exactly, if it all works. I mean, Moxley obviously is insane. I could buy that. Okay, fine.
He's one of the top names you could get in wrestling, man, but go ahead.
No, I'm saying, well, yes, that's fine. Marina Shafir, I might not like him, but that's true. Marina Shafir, I mean, I think this is actually the best way to use her. She shouldn't talk. We've known that from experience. You kind of use her as like this type of role, I think is okay. And the rest of those guys, whatever, Claudio and Pac, I'm indifferent about. So, I mean, this was okay. This was a good segment. This was not bad. It showed the chaos of the group. I mean, obviously Moxley not selling the punches and the whole, breaking his hand with the thing, with the hammer, this was just all okay to me. Nothing special, nothing great, but it was just an okay segment. I think what would be interesting is if somehow they actually did something with Private Party now where this actually got them somewhere, which I don't think is going to happen. But I'm just saying it would be interesting if somehow Private Party was made from from something of this whole angle.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I know that.
It would be nice. I don't expect that either. But just in this scene in a vacuum, I just liked how it looked. I liked the whole thing about holding him down, smash. They just did the job. In my opinion, I think they did the job. I don't think they're gonna get made off this. But all right,
nor should they probably. But
let me move on to Robert. You gave it a thumbs up. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I liked it. Now that part where John Moxley broke whose hand was it? I don't remember.
Isaiah Cassidy, Brother Zay.
Brother Zay's hand. Okay. Yeah, if that happened in WWE, you'd hear Adam Pearce talk about suspensions, but
yes.
But this is in WWE, so no suspensions here. Yeah, I mean, it was cool. I liked it. One thing that I don't get is they attacked Private Party. They attacked Private Party back after Private Party attacked them, but they didn't attack Darby Allin after he attacked them. That was kind of weird for me. But overall, personally, I thought this was a cool segment, and I do want to add one thing regarding a Grand Slam. Personally, I actually hope Darby Allin loses.
Oh well, sure.
Because, okay, let me explain why.
No, it makes sense.
Just this. It just doesn't make sense that he would get a title shot. He was beaten fairly easily by Jack Perry at All In, right? And then Jack Perry lost to Bryan Danielson. So I don't see how Darby Allin would be like a credible champion at this point. Like especially where he didn't put that much of a fight against Jack Perry when they fought in All In. That's all. But I don't dislike him. But I just thought that since he looked weak in that match, like I don't see how he could be a champion just like a month or two later, right? So yeah, that's all. But this segment was cool.
I think either match would be good. Danielson against Darby or Danielson against Moxley.
Yeah, obviously, it's going to be Moxley, bro. There's no even. The whole angle is with Moxley and this whatever this new group is doing and probably fighting for the championship. So obviously, it's going to be Moxley. There's no, it's 100%. It's in the bag.
All right. Well, I got to move on. We got a few angles to get through. Let's jump back to WWE, okay? So I don't want to say I don't want to talk about this, but I don't think I loved it as much as some people did. We're going to do the Cody and Roman Reigns meeting at Georgia Tech. This was on Friday Night Smackdown, the 20th of September it was. So let's do a summary review of this, okay? So Cody and Roman, just to fill people in from last week, the week before, if for some reason you don't know, they were going to face off against Solo's team, Solo's bloodline, and they agreed to form a union, right? It was hard, but in the end, Cody decided to tag team with Roman. So now they're going to talk about it. So for some reason, they're meeting up at Georgia Tech. Like, they can't have a cell phone call or a Zoom meeting. But here comes Roman Reigns with, like, 5 cars, I guess. He has to have, like, like he's the president. And they drive into the Georgia Tech Stadium, which I guess he used to play there, right? He mentions this throughout. Here's some pictures. You guys are watching on YouTube. I'm showing some slides of what happened. So he walks out onto the field, and then Cody's just driving one car. It's a nice car. It's a white car. I don't know what that is. It's a Tesla or some shit. That's probably what all the rich people are using.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a Tesla, but it doesn't.
I don't know. Whatever the fuck. They all look the same to me. Anyways, here comes Cody, and they're gonna meet at the center of the field, right? And what did they say to each other? Roman said this was I played here, so this is my field, right? Which was he like a prominent player at Georgia Tech or something? Like, is it his field?
It's his city, or
this is his city. Atlanta is his city, huh? Because he played at Georgia Tech. I've never heard this. Never heard this of Roman Reigns, but okay. And then, they had this long diatribe. I guess when I give my review, I'll mention that I thought a lot of this was just too long, that it could have been cut down. It was good. I gave it a thumbs up in the end. I liked it, but I thought it could have been better. Roman says that they took everything from me and he has nothing to lose, right? So that's his thing. And they took his wise man. They took Jimmy Uso. They beat him up. They took his Ulafala. And this was one thing I didn't understand, because I was actually trying to map the conversation and listen to it logically, which it didn't really make logical sense, because Cody said, you think you've got nothing to lose? I beg to differ. And then he lists how Roman has nothing. He has no championship. He has no family. So
he does have nothing to lose then.
Yeah, so he does have nothing to lose. So I thought that was, I don't know, if I missed something there logically in the conversation, okay. A lot of the conversation didn't flow logically for me. They just try to make it dramatic. And that's when Roman, he's a little rattled, and he looks at Cody and he goes, what do you want then? And Cody says, I want you to have my back. And afterwards, Roman says, I'll have your back, but when this is done, I'm coming for what's mine, which is the WWE Championship. And then when Roman starts to walk away, Cody steps in front of him, and he says, it's not yours. And then Roman says, you're in my way. And then Cody steps back. And then Roman goes, no, you're in my way in life. And then they play this dramatic music that I'm not going to play because it was probably copyrighted or whatever, but some newfangled song that they played, and that was the end of the scene. I summarized it as quick as I could, but there was more to it. But anyways, some of the reviews. Let's go to our rating system. Everyone, all three of us, gave it just a thumbs up. So nobody gave it 2 thumbs up. So, all right. So, Vlad, let's hear your thoughts for thumbs up, I guess why you liked it, and then I guess criticism, reasons why you didn't give it more than a thumbs up.
Yeah, I mean, I like the stuff that was said for the most part. Like, you know, like this would have been a very good promo, but the whole scene didn't make a lot of sense. Like, why are they meeting on a football field face to face in the middle of like the college football? I understand the only connection is that Roman played college football there as like whatever, as a linebacker or whatever the hell he played as. I don't even know, but I mean, it really didn't make any sense in the meeting. Well, this couldn't have been done in the ring. Like, this would have been a great promo in the ring that they could have cut. Would have been tremendous. Maybe one of the better things they had done in a while. You know, with their 2 biggest stars, but instead it's like a video package of, and then like the whole thing with Roman coming in 5 cars. I mean, it was kind of idiocy. But the stuff, the meat, the meat and potatoes of what they were saying was tremendous. I thought it was great. Like the stuff that they were saying. So I'm like, what? This could have been so good in the ring. I mean, if they just cut a promo in the ring, like these 2 guys meeting face to face. But this whole thing kind of felt a little hokey, and like they're just coming into this empty college stadium. Like Cody drove right in, and this is AEW a little bit. Like Cody drove right into the college arena, like with no problem. He just drove his car in there. I don't know. It just seemed a little really, really hokey and a little weird. But like I said, if you just cut that part out and just focus on what was said, very good. And that's why I gave it 1 thumbs up. But as a whole thing, I couldn't give it more than that because it was just a little too silly for my taste.
All right, Robert, also a thumbs up.
All right. So first off, if I were to just rate this segment based on production value alone, this would have gotten an easy 2 thumbs up for me.
That's true.
Just by production value alone. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing I'm taking into consideration. There were some things that were said that just didn't make sense to me. So when Roman Reigns said that he had nothing to lose, dude, you just rolled in with 7 SUVs, and then now you're saying you have nothing to lose. What?
Good point.
That doesn't make sense.
Good point.
What? Okay.
That's true.
And also, when he said at the very end, "You're in my way in life," my initial thought was, "Oh man, that's a cool line. That sounds pretty awesome." But then, I come to think of it, like for him to say that to Cody, at least to me, also doesn't make sense because you were in Cody's way for more than 2 years. Right now you're assuming you're trying to get that title back. You've only not had the title for a few months. So now Cody's in your way just for a few months, but you were in his way for 2 years. So for him to say that to him, like you're in my way in life, it was a little bit silly. But you know, overall it was cool. And just as an aside, this is separate from my review of this angle, because there's a lot of talk about how Cody's title reign has been very lackluster or mid, and for the most part I do agree with that, but I think it's now interesting again. However, as I was thinking about this segment and this angle, I did think, I was wondering in my head, like, okay, his title reign is now, at least for me, interesting again, but does this mean he always needs the bloodline?
Yeah,
you know, the involvement from the bloodline to have to make his title reign relevant. I mean, I haven't seen anything non-bloodline related so far from his reign that's been interesting, but we'll see.
Okay, well, I'll just mention real quick before we move on. A positive of this is that they clearly mentioned that Roman Reigns wants the WWE title back. So he's not done. Okay, because I was thinking about that. I'm like, is he ever going to try to get that title back? Are they going to reinsert him into the title scene? Is there going to be a thing with him and Cody again someday? So that's intriguing, and that's good. But overall, the fact that they were talking to each other for so long and just standing there, it was, I don't know. Honestly, I what's the word I want to give it? It was kind of cringe. I'm sorry. It was kind of cringe to me in a way, which is kind of a tough word. But overall,
No.
I think the idea was good. I think it looked cool. I think they want to make these guys look like ridiculously huge stars with 15 cars coming in. But
I don't know if the idea is good. What sense did it make for them to meet here? It didn't make any sense. Why would they meet here? Why can't they meet in the ring like two wrestlers? Like, it doesn't make sense. Why would they meet in this football stadium of all places? Like, I understand there's a connection to Georgia. Both guys mentioned their connection to Atlanta and Cody's family's history in wrestling for Georgia wrestling, right?
Yeah,
okay,
that was he was retorting with about whose town is it really? I get all that,
but which is ridiculous. Like, it's neither of those. I don't think anybody cares specifically about Roman or Cody in Atlanta. But
yeah, you don't think there's those old Dusty Rhodes fans that are still rooting for Cody?
There could be some of that, but not like I don't think it's a crazy amount of people. But anyways, I think the point is that what I'm trying to. I just didn't like. Yeah, I think it was a little cringy because of where the thing took place. If they had just done this in the ring, in the middle of the ring, cut this amazing promo where they went back and forth, that would have been fine for me, man. I would have probably given it 2 thumbs up. But this whole thing, it was a little too theatrical and a little too silly for me.
All right. So I'm going to jump to the other angle on SmackDown, which is right after this. I categorize it as a separate angle in my review sheet, our SmackDown review. If everyone wants to see our complete detailed SmackDown review, go to our YouTube posts tab, and it's over there right now. But I'm talking about Kevin Owens, who was watching this on TV, pissed off like I was. Why are you teaming with Roman Reigns? Sorry. Why are you teaming with Roman Reigns? Cody.
Roman Reigns. That would be a
Roman
great
Reigns. No, this is Roman Reigns. That's their tag team. Yeah, Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns is a good name. Yeah.
Anyways, so Byron Saxton is there because obviously they got to get a word from KO. Like, dude, after all this time, you've helped Cody beat Roman, and now they're cool, huh? So we got to hear your comments. And KO didn't really want to say anything. He was like, wait till I get out of the ring and I'll say it. And then once he started talking, he got interrupted by the Bloodline with no Solo. So Tama Tonga got mic time, which I'm kind of tempted to play his promo, but I'll skip it.
Oh, please, God. What kind of sounds was he making? Okay, actually, you know what? Play his. I actually think we should play it.
Fine.
It was something else.
All right, let's go to watch along mode. Zoom in there if you guys want to.
Yeah. Yeah, what the hell is that? Oh, man. No wonder they never let this guy speak.
Well, apparently, he's the second best speaker on this group because with Solo out, they had to give him the mic. So, he was making great faces, though. His facial expressions are tremendous. I'll give him that. But he did take the microphone, and Kevin Owens said that's the last time we ever need to hear you speak.
Yeah, this is the one time I completely agree with him.
Anyways, so of course, they 3-on-1 whoop his ass before we get to know what he was going to say about Cody, and then this turns into a whole thing with DIY, and that becomes a 6-man tag team main event that doesn't even come off because DIY gets attacked by the Bloodline, so I think the Street Profits take his place. But in the end, I'm skipping all that, okay? And I'm skipping to the part where they got Kevin Owens dead to rights, and they were going to beat him up and slam him through a table and everything, and then Cody finally comes in. He was there the whole time. I thought he was Georgia Tech, but okay.
Yeah.
So he shows up at the end, and then he has a moment with Jacob Fatu where he actually has a physical altercation with Jacob Fatu, and this was a good stare down, a good face off. And what happens? I think Jacob kicks him with the steel chair.
Yeah, he kicks the chair
out of his hand, and then he's going to try to punch him, but Cody hits him with a Cody cutter. So he ducks a punch from Jacob Fatu, and then hits him with a nice looking Cody cutter, and he actually gets one over on Jacob Fatu today. That looked really good. Sometimes his Cody cutters don't land well, but all right. So so this was the crux of the matter. This was the meat of the angle, I guess, was when Kevin Owens had the steel chair and he got up and he had a chance and he was looking at Cody for a good while. I'm not playing it like in real time, but he was staring at him for a pretty good while, looking at him, and Cody turns around and he didn't hit him. Actually, they ended up like hugging it out, and Kevin Owens looked, I don't know what the word is, conflicted or emotional, stressed. Everyone's thinking that this is going to be a heel turn from Kevin Owens. It's like it's coming on. It's inevitable. But let's get some reviews from this angle, from the Kevin Owens thing. I guess I'm calling this Kevin Owens about to comment on Roman and Cody before being interrupted by the Bloodline. That whole thing. So on our rating system, Vlad gave this another half thumbs up, and Orange Cassidy half thumbs up. So, and then I gave it a thumbs up, and Robert gave it a thumbs up. So I liked it. I liked the whole tease at the end when I wasn't sure. Well, I didn't think he would hit Cody, but I still think it was cool the way they did it, and the camera angle and all that stuff. So let's get some comments from Robert. So Robert liked it. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I'll start off with the Tama Tonga promo first. Okay, no, this is a true story, and this is kind of funny. I remember seeing some of his promos when he was still in New Japan as part of the Bullet Club. Mm-hmm. And he was not bad. He was actually decent with promos. So when he finally joined WWE, I was like, when are they ever going to let him do promos? That's actually a question that was in my head. I never said it to you guys, but in my head I was like,
wait till you hear Tama Tonga talk.
He could actually talk. Like, why don't they just give him a mic at some point? Well, they finally did, and like, oh my goodness, really?
He didn't really say much. All he said was, "We're here to kick your ass," because Solo told us to.
I never heard him make those noises before, so I have no idea what that was about. I don't know. So as someone who's seen him talk before in New Japan, this was disappointing for me. All right, now back to the angle. I thought it was really cool. Again, they're making Jacob Fatu look like a beast. I don't think I like the whole Kevin Owens tease as, not that I hated it, I just didn't like it as much as you did. It's just they kind of did something similar a couple of weeks ago while he was holding the belt, right? So it was like, all right, we've gone through this already a couple of weeks ago, so that's why I didn't love it as much, but I didn't hate it either.
Well, now there's a better reason for him to turn, though.
Right.
Sorry. Go
okay,
ahead.
Sure. But I also want to point out at the very beginning of SmackDown, there was a really funny scene where they were passing through the metal detectors, right?
Oh, yes.
Entrance. I thought that was hilarious. I love that scene.
Yes, I gave that one 2 thumbs up, actually. I was the only one out of all of you guys that loved that scene. I was a separate review on our SmackDown rating, but I was very happy with that scene. But all right, Vlad, we're talking about the Kevin Owens stuff right now. So you only gave it a half thumbs up. So on our review, that means like Orange Cassidy. You're kind of indifferent, but you kind of like it. You're enough to give it a lazy thumbs up. So what can you tell us about this?
What can I tell you about this that has
anything you want to talk about? Tama Tonga, Kevin Owens.
Oh yeah, well, okay, I mean,
is he going to turn heel? Are you kind of excited for a heel turn? I think it would be better than him being a face. Honestly,
probably. He's probably better as a heel. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Kevin Owens fan. I have to be honest. Like, I think he's a good worker, but I just not really a big fan of his character. It's kind of always the same thing with him. So I also had the same problem with the turn or potential turn because they were just kind of also doing the same thing when they were feuding, where they thought like, oh, is he going to do it? Is he not going to do it? So, okay, we're back to this again. It is what it is. I'm not really as big a fan of that. The only reason I gave it like a half a thumb up at all is because I enjoy the Bloodline segment. I specifically enjoy Jacob Fatu, who is easily becoming one of my favorite wrestlers. I mean, he's just great to watch. He's just tremendous. And I enjoyed them just beating down people. So that's the reason I really gave it half of them up. The whole thing with Owens, I'm indifferent about, and Cody coming in at the last second was also kind of weird because, like, where have you been, bro? Like, if you were there, why didn't you come out when they were getting their asses kicked from the beginning? That also didn't really make sense, you know? If you weren't there, they should have explained it like he's not there, and he flew in at the last second, but they didn't say anything like that. They just played his music and out he came, you know? Kind of AEW-ish. Not good. And when I compare it to AEW, it's not a good thing. it's not. It's never good.
Yeah.
It's never good to be compared to AEW.
That's not a compliment.
But not a compliment.
Excuse me. Sorry about that. Ugh, said something in my throat. All right. So I'm switching the clock to 1 minute. I got a few topics left, but we're going to speed through them a little quicker because they're not our main topics. But let's see. What do I want to jump back to? I want to jump to Hangman Page and Jeff Jarrett from AEW, but I don't really want to go through the angle or review it, what happened on Dynamite or Collision. But I do want to mention, well, real quick, I'll mention that Hangman was going to beat up Tony Schiavone for rooting for Swerve in the match overtly. And that's when Jeff Jarrett came out. And I like their scene that they did the week before, but this one I didn't really like as much. I gave it a half thumbs up, and Robert gave it a thumbs up. But basically all Jeff Jarrett said here in his promo was that he was going to kick Hangman's ass after they had a little scuffle. But basically, and then on Collision, which I watched, I don't have a clip of it here, but Jeff Jarrett challenged Hangman to a strap match, which is also going to be a lumberjack match. So any comments on that? I mean, is that a good idea for a match, Vlad? What do you think of that booking? A strap lumberjack match for Grand Slam with Jeff Jarrett against Hangman Page. This angle was going so well for a minute, and then they kind of, what the fuck was that?
Well, I don't know if it's ever really going well.
It was going kind of well. Yeah, Robert even kind of likes it, but...
Right. I think this could be like one of those situations where they've overbooked it. Like, I know Jeff Jarrett has a history of his matches being kind of overbooked. I mean, I know you know his TNA history better than I do.
I do.
And he does have a lot of weird stipulations in his match, and a lot of weird shenanigans go on in his matches when he wins, especially when he's a babyface, but I know when he's a heel, it's even worse, right? That means a lot of weird stuff happening in his matches. So maybe this is one of those situations. I'm just not a huge fan of this whole thing that much. I mean, I do respect what Jeff Jarrett and his family has done in the business and everything like that, but this whole thing, I could do with it or without it. You know, if it disappeared, if this whole angle disappeared, I wouldn't be upset.
Robert, real quick, I know it's not a major topic, but what do you think of a strap match that's also a lumberjack match?
I don't know. I don't know how that's going to turn out. We'll see. I'll say this much, and I know you really love Jeff Jarrett.
I do.
Personally, for me, not that I dislike him or anything, but I've just thought his run in AEW for me personally has been very uninteresting. This is the first time for me that he's in an angle that's at least intriguing for me. As far as the match, I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't think I've ever seen a lumberjack match that's also a strap match, at least not that I can recall. So we'll see. I mean, I'll watch it. Hangman Adam Page's persona, at least in recent months, is more interesting now, and so I'll watch it, but I don't know if how it's going to play out.
All right. Next thing I wanted to do real quick, I just wanted to give a quick praise and shout out to LA Knight. I thought his match with Andrade was really good. I almost wanted to give it 2 thumbs up, perfect rating to me. I was watching it and thinking like, man, this was so freaking good. Look at this elbow drop he gave. Great form on that. But the only thing that stopped me from giving it a 2 thumbs up rating was this one botch right here. Zoom in over there because I can't play it here without losing the video to copyright claim. But this was where he tried to jump up on the top rope. So he does that thing where he's trying to get at Andrade, who's on the top rope, and jump up, and he misses it, unfortunately. But this was the only bad thing he did in this whole match.
Really extremely sure-footed on the rope, but wow! And not able to gain his balance.
Yeah. Too bad. They played it off well, but that was the only botch, and then LA Knight did get the win. Unfortunately, I lost the footage of Robert giving analysis of this match. I lost our microphone for about a minute, but Robert did give praise to Andrade because I asked him if he wanted to give any thoughts about this match, and he said, yeah, only about Andrade because I think he's a really good worker. So unfortunately, I lost that. But I did want to make mention that Robert did give praise to Andrade, and his rating of this match was a half a thumbs up, and so was Vlad's half a thumbs up. I gave it a thumbs up, almost a 2 thumbs up. Here's Vlad's review of this angle.
But that's not, it's not really fair because like English is not his first language, obviously. So it is what it is in that regard. But he is a tremendous worker. Like his matches are really good. I think the reason the match works so well is because of him, not so much because of LA Knight. No offense to LA Knight. I think LA Knight is a captivating character and a guy that's super over right now. But I don't think his strong suit is like between the ropes. His strong suit is the character and his mic skills and whatnot. So the reason the match worked, or the reason I think you liked it as much as you did, Keon, is mostly because of Andrade. I mean, if I had to, make an educated guess on that one. But this was good. It was a good match. And I hope, though, LA Knight gets to feud with someone a little bit, not so much better, but, just a bigger name, I would say. Like, if there's someone, I don't know who they're going to have him feud with, but I hope he moves on from Andrade and all that stuff. I think Andrade should focus on what he's got with what's his face.
Carmelo Hayes.
Carmelo Hayes. Thank you.
Wait, you're saying you like his thing with Carmelo Hayes, or you don't?
I think it's fine. I've actually enjoyed some of the matches. Some have been better than others. But it's a good undercard feud. Personally, I know Cornette shits on it every time he sees him. He's like, "Oh, I didn't watch that." But you know what? They're putting on pretty good matches here and there. So I think as an undercard feud, it's not bad. I've seen worse. And the feud and the backstage segment they had, I did like the stuff from this show. It was actually very believable.
That's what I was going to play, man. That's the next thing I was literally going to play as a little really watch along of these two guys.
Very believable. Very believable.
All right, so the people who can't see what's going on, Andrade just lost to LA Knight, tough match, and Carmelo Hayes, who has had 5 matches with him already and has lost 3 of them, is going to come in and talk shit.
What was that? Hey, I haven't seen a choke like that since the Kings did against the Lakers.
Oh, in Sacramento.
It was in Sacramento, yeah.
I'll tell you this. Just put the fries in the bag, bro. You washed.
Ooh, high face. And then very physical fight. Yes, you're right, Vlad. Yes. Very believable. This is fantastic work.
I thought this was tremendous. This is how, if you're going to have backstage segments where they fight all the time, can they look like this? Because this looked really good.
All right. Good stuff. So
that was impressive.
I gave that segment 2 thumbs up.
The match?
Just this backstage stuff. No, the match I gave a thumbs up. I would have gave 2 thumbs up if LA Knight didn't do that botch. But this backstage segment I put as a different angle. I gave this 2 thumbs up.
What did I give it? I would have given it 2 thumbs up. Did I not? What did I say?
Vlad has a thumbs up here.
I would, if you could make the change to 2, I would do that too. I don't remember. I didn't even know you put that up there as something to be reviewed.
All right, I'll change it for you. And Robert gave it a half thumbs up.
Wait, I remember that. That was really good.
Well, I'll change it. Give me a rating. Is it a thumbs up or is it a 2 thumbs? Because you didn't even give the Braun Strowman Bronson Reed thing 2 thumbs up. So maybe this is just a thumbs up for you because 2 thumbs up maybe is too high a rating. I don't know. Maybe you should save that for Hogan versus Rock at WrestleMania or something.
I'll give that 2. Just that segment alone, I'll give that 2.
All right. This is number 4, angle number 4. I said Andrade's loss to LA Knight draws criticism for Carmelo Hayes. Scuffle ensues. Feud will continue next week.
Yeah.
So that is a separate angle. But yeah, all right. So what else do I want to do from this past week? One thing I wanted to mention from AEW. Yes. Anyone excited for this Ricochet match, huh? Robert, this is your territory. Ricochet and Will Ospreay. They're set to face off in October 2nd, I think. And they set up a match. Ricochet, they met back in the loading area of the arena. So they just kind of bumped into each other. back where they the docking area. Yeah, not in the ring, not anywhere good, not anywhere nice, just in the freaking dark. That's my criticism of this angle here.
Well,
I gave this half.
In AEW usually meet by a trash can or some
in the
garbage.
stairwell.
In the stairwell. That's usually where people meet when they have a feud going.
Well, anyway, so Robert's rating of this segment was a half thumbs up like mine. Vlad gave it an indifferent, but that's not my question here. My question is not a review of this angle. My question is, are you actually excited for this? Because this is more Robert's type of match. So we'll start with Robert. You got any excitement for this, or is this kind of in the past now?
I've seen their matchup before. It was actually Brian who I don't remember when, several years ago. He's the one that recommended me to watch this, if I remember correctly. And
he actually friend of the show. He's been on the show before.
So he actually, he put it up on his phone. He played me the match on his phone, and I watched it, and I was like, whoa, this is some crazy stuff that they're doing. And that is, if I remember correctly, that is the first time I've ever seen Will Ospreay. Was that match with Ricochet. So my very first memory of Will Ospreay was against Ricochet. Now, Will Ospreay was noticeably skinnier back then. So he looks different now to me. I want to say that was like 2015 or 16. It was cool, and I'm excited for it. I know that's probably not the style that you, Keon, or definitely not Vlad, like to watch, but there's going to be a lot of aerial stuff, as you can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
If it's going to be anything like their first match.
All right, so you're excited to see them do it all over again, huh? This will be the first time Vlad's seeing this, and I don't think I even need to ask him if if you don't want to comment on this.
No, I'm gonna comment on it, guys. Damn it. No, I'm not gonna be too critical. I mean, I have an idea of what this match is gonna be. It's gonna be a video game match, but it's gonna be hard for them to top the video game match that Ospreay just had with Pac on the pay-per-view, and basically any Ospreay match that he has that's not with MJF, for the most part. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it's not my style. I'm not looking for. I really don't care. I don't care for really either of these two guys that much. I know a lot of people love them, and I know they're big in the wrestling community as the type of workers they are. It's just not my type of thing. I don't consider what they do really wrestling, to be honest. It's more like video game stuff, and it's not for me. It's not believable, and it's very choreographed, and I don't particularly like it. But nothing against these guys. I'm not against anybody that does like them. I'm sure they're good guys, but it's just not my type of wrestling.
All right. Last thing I want to jump to, because this is Dynamite, AEW Dynamite. I want to mention at least one thing from NXT, because NXT has been hot, and it's on Robert's thing. Robert's over here. He's got that background on his thing. It's CM Punk and Roxanne Perez. So that wasn't the angle I was going to cover today. They're moving to the CW next week, and so it's a new channel. And
I might actually have to watch that one.
They've got a lot of stars prepared for that. Ethan Page from AEW is the NXT champion, Vlad, which we haven't been paying attention to this, but
I knew that.
We knew it, but hey, we haven't been seeing what's been going on with him. I mean, that's a pretty big push, to jump straight from AEW to NXT and get the world title. But okay, so he's feuding with Trick Williams, and there's The Rock's daughter. She's known as Ava Raine. I guess she's the general manager of NXT, since we haven't covered any of this before. But they were supposed to have a contract signing, and it ended up Ethan Page as being a dick, and he didn't really want to sign it. He attacked Trick Williams, and that was going to come back around later in the show. This contract has to get signed. So Ava sends out Tyrese Halliburton. Right, Vlad? That's who you call. That's who you call when you need a contract signed for sure. So he brings out Ethan Page. He brings out Trick Williams.
If you need an assist.
You want to listen to an Ethan Page promo? I mean, real quick, since we haven't heard him talk in a while.
Yeah. Absolutely. If you want to, sir.
Trick.
What is that outfit he's wearing? He's wearing a green sweater. It looks like them golf jackets that they win or something. Just really douchey, nerdy jacket.
He just won the Masters.
Yeah, and a glasses, so he looks kind of sophisticated. I don't know. He's trying to look.
Is that what his character's supposed to be? I don't really know what his character's supposed to be.
Earlier, but you decided to come out here and stutter anyways. But you know what? That's absolutely fine with me. If this is what you want to force me to sign this contract, I'll do it. But let me put this in a way that you and your pal here will understand. When it comes to this championship, Ethan Page is the Boston Celtics. And on October 1st, when I beat you in Chicago, you will be like the Indiana Pacers and the rest of the NBA, because you're going to have to watch me be victorious. Carry this championship, this entire company and brand, and the era of ego will continue to make history. Now hold that open so I can sign it.
And then he signs it. All right, well, what did you think of that promo, guys? Anyone have any comments on Ethan Page's promo? I always like the way he talks, even in AEW.
Yeah,
It's got personality.
well. Yes, agreed. I totally underutilized in AEW completely. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, the guy can speak, and from what I've seen of him in the work in AEW, he could work too. So definitely somebody they ruined.
All right. Well, what happened at the end of this angle, Vlad, in case you didn't know, I think you probably know, but Tyrese Halliburton had a surprise, and it was CM Punk. So CM Punk he introduces as the special guest referee for this match. They say it's going to be one of the most important matches for the future of this company, they called it. And then CM Punk, he talked for a while, but at the end he said,
y'all can start fighting right now.
And then Ethan Page and Trick Williams go at it, and security comes and pulls them apart. All right, well, there you go. So they got some stars down there in NXT, and they're trying to get some ratings for this CW premiere first couple weeks. Randy Orton is also promoted to, I think, have a match on the second week there on the CW. A-Town Down Under. I just wanted to mention NXT. Any chance NXT will beat Dynamite in the ratings, Vlad, at some point? Will it get to that point or what?
Yes, it's coming. So? Yes, I do.
Consistently? It'll be hard for them to do that consistently.
Consistently, I don't know. It's going to be hard. They still are the third show, and it could just be a little bit too much of WWE for everybody.
Yeah, I got to admit, it is hard for me to watch NXT. Like, I just don't have the time.
I didn't even see this. So this is all new to me. But interesting. Punk will be the special guest referee. Well, I mean, I don't know. He should really be focusing on his career match with Drew McIntyre, but okay. Nonetheless, interesting stuff going on in NXT, I guess.
All right. Well, listen, guys, we're done. That's all I have planned. But I have the Wheel of Angles, and I kind of want to do one. I don't know if you guys are down. I know Elora's barking.
I'm good for it. If Robert has the time, I could do one. Or
I just want to do one. Yeah. But look, what's interesting about today's Wheel of Angles is it has literally Elora. Come here.
It has Elora? It has literally Elora.
My dog is barking. I'm trying to finish this freaking Elora. All right, you can make an appearance here. All right. No, this wheel has literally every angle that was broadcast on American cable television. Vlad. NXT, Collision, Rampage, Dynamite, Raw, SmackDown.
So we could get anything.
We could get anything.
If it's Collision or Rampage, I didn't watch any of that, but okay.
Yeah, I know. Well, me neither. I didn't watch Rampage, but all right, let's see what we land on. One spin, and then we go home.
All right.
Oh, no. Serena Deeb and Mariah May DQ'd as Yuka Sakazaki nailed with world title belt by Mariah May. Yuka and Queen Aminata win as Deeb and Aminata continue beef from Collision. This was AEW Dynamite. This was a horrible angle. I didn't like this. I gave this a thumbs down because Serena Deeb is feuding with Queen Aminata, and Mariah May is there to team with Serena Deeb just because they're both heels. But you want to give it another spin?
Please, because I have nothing to add to that.
All right, another spin. One more spin. I know that wasn't. I think you skipped that one, if I'm not mistaken. But you might have mentioned it as a skipped. Oh my!
I thought that was on Collision.
This is not good. The Beast Mortos and Roderick Strong defeated Marcus Mathers and Joe Keys on Rampage.
Oh my god! I don't think this is going to work out just as you thought. I don't think you thought this all the way through, Caleb.
All right, one more spin. One more spin.
I don't think you should have put the Rampage and Collision angles on this.
Let me see. Jamie Hayter thwarted Saraya's attempt to help Harley beat Sheeta, and Saraya challenges Jamie Hayter to Saraya Rules match at Grand Slam.
Okay,
what's up? Okay,
Saraya,
let Robert go on that. Robert has something on that.
On Collision, they describe what a Saraya Rules match. I mean, it basically means she can use weapons and no one else can. Like, she can do this and no one else can. I don't know. I forgot how she said it. Yeah.
So I didn't watch this, but just the fact that it involved Jamie Hayter, like I wish this was something that happened on Dynamite, so I could have at least seen it. Just as a Jamie Hayter fan, just speaking from that perspective.
Well, I guess now you know on this Rampage coming up, it's going to be Saraya against Jamie Hayter in stipulation match.
So they're going to have the match not on Dynamite. They're going to have it on Rampage.
No, I think it's going to be at Grand Slam Dynamite, but I'm not sure. You're right. There might be Grand Slam Rampage. I'm not sure. I don't really know, honestly. But they're going to...
That's disappointing.
All right, forget it. Let's close this up. Let's close the show up. Let's get out of here. All right, guys. Thank you for being on the show today. That'll be all for this week of the Malapert Smark Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for joining us, Vlad. Thank you for joining us, Robert.
It's always good to be here, guys.
You subscribe. Please subscribe. I'm sorry about the Wheel of Angles today. It didn't turn out that good, but next time I won't put every angle on there, maybe.
Yeah, we didn't maybe need the Rampage and Collision angles.
All right, guys. Unless you guys have anything else to say about the wrestling, I think we've covered it. You guys got to go to bed. You got work in the morning. It's 11 p.m. on a Sunday. I'll try to get this out by Monday morning so the fans can listen to it. All right, guys. Well, that'll be it then. Any thoughts you get from wrestling, text it to me, and I'll try to post it on our Twitter. We also have an X, guys, Malapert_Smark. And then YouTube posts. Check out our complete, comprehensive reviews of everything we don't cover on this show. Over on YouTube post, complete reviews of Dynamite, Raw, and Smackdown. All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next week, and keep watching the wrestling.